Everybody, how are you all doing? I'm good. Hope you're all waiting for my session. Somehow I'm a little late today because I have a few guests at home for the Rakhi celebration, and I thought that still I should do my live webinar because you all as teachers will be waiting. Hello, those who are joining for the first time. I'm Dr. Padmavati Tunguturthi from Teachconnect. You're all welcomed here to my live webinar wherein I can understand how you are all wanting to learn about a particular topic. Today there is a very sweet topic for all of you, that is principles as pedagogical leaders, because the CBSE board and many boards eventually will also be looking at this concept of pedagogical leaders for doing the administration. There are two different wings for school administration. One is pedagogical leadership, that is totally academic administration, and the other one should be the non-academic administration, where you'll be looking at admissions, looking at the front office, looking at the accounts, and looking at the structure, that is having a PTM meeting and an event schedule, having an academic sports meet, and that is also another corner of it, another vertical of it. So that's how we should only focus on, as principal, we should focus on academic leadership, and we can have a parallel line of another vice principal or another complete in charge, wherein definitely principal will be the head for the whole school, but there should be a strong wing for the non-academic administration also. This is what we are working in. Hello, good morning everybody. Welcome to today's session, which is very important for national education policy to be in place. National education policy is framed up by the complete education department involved, and there are so many stalwarts who have worked with this. Therefore, our focus today is shifting from being school managers to being leaders of learning. What is that we mean by leaders of learning? We are leaders of learning because we are wanting the students to learn, and we are leading the learning in the school. Therefore, you should have a clear roadmap to strengthen teaching, inspire leaders, and assure student learning in your school. Now that you are a school principal, you are the most important personality of the school, and you are a leader who is responsible for shaping these young lives and guiding the teachers. Therefore, guiding the teachers means it is not micromanaging the teachers, it is only trying to understand only the intermittent steps wherein the teachers are not able to follow, and maybe if they are struggling for it. And now you entered into this role to make a difference. What kind of difference do you want to make? It is not just managing the paperwork. Your focus should be to make a difference in the lives of the students, also in the lives of the teachers. How do you make a difference? That is by cognition, that is whatever you are learning, and by academics, that is academics, cognition learning, the affective domain wherein you will have your heart, and also the psychomotor domain. Everything learnt will be skillful. Whether the teachers do it, they should do things in a skillful way, and the same kind of skill must be expected from the student. Therefore, for example, I have to give you something. Say, how to build up the connectivity is the first thing. In a CBSE school, which is not maybe in a metropolitan place, the principal starts the day by visiting the school and going around. Therefore, it is important for the students to see the principal in the campus. How the principal is going to make himself or herself visible to the student, that's one great challenge. Or the teacher, the principal can go into every classroom eventually in the spread of maybe forenoon, before 11 o'clock. Therefore, the principal should be in a point where he goes to every school, the principal should be visible to the student. Therefore, the principal must enter every classroom and call students by name, at least 2 students per class. This builds up the connectivity. Therefore, if you have to have a large volume of students and if your principal is going to meet, the principal may have weekly meetings, fortnightly meetings, and monthly meetings. Any pretext, if the principal finds, now that this is August, maybe Krishnashtami festival is coming up, we may or may not be celebrating at a greater extent, at a larger level, but the principal is supposed to talk to the students maybe in the assembly or to the main council of students maybe fortnightly, or what's going to come up. Are they having elaborate arrangements, or they just doing it for the sake of, because every event you cannot do an elaborate way, right? Therefore, that's how some of the events you have to do elaborate, because we have to fix the time also for it. For how many events are we making in an elaborate way, and how many events are we making for the present? That is a challenge for the principals also. Now there is a challenge here. Now what's the challenge? The principal's traditional role is not at all enough. Earlier it was just coming and once in month meeting with the teachers and also with the students. Maybe they attend the morning assembly or not. That was all traditional method. The principal presence must be felt by the student. That means the impact has to be created now for the modern methods of doing. Otherwise, what happens? The schools will face, first point, the learning gaps. The second point, you will find disengaged student. And the third point is there is a pressure to build up the 21st century skills, and the skills will not be built up in the classroom. The build of the skills will always be a challenge. That's how you can face the first thing, that is learning gap. How are we going to find the learning gaps? What is learning gaps means? You want to talk about something, do something in the classroom, but that something is not happening. Maybe you want to improve the drawing skills of the students, but this information is not gone into the students. This information is not gone into the students through the teachers, and ultimately the teachers are doing things which may not be in alignment for the goal for this term. That's how you feel there are disengaged students also, and you also have a pressure to build up the 21st century skills, because 21st century skills, the major 5 C's: communication, critical thinking, yes, come up, communication, critical thinking, creativity, and computation, collaboration. These are a few skills which you feel, and there are many more C's also adding up. But if one school, the exam results were strong, but graduates from the school lack teamwork and the problem solving skills needed for the real world, what sort of learning is that? The learning will be complete only when the students can transfer that knowledge into the real world complex problems. And if you find another school, say one more example, and that's a great challenge. Another school sends teachers for training. Now earlier we spoke about the real world knowledge absence in the student. Now this time we want to talk about the teacher training. If teacher training doesn't happen, but without a follow-up, they reverted to old methods of teaching and learning. This happens because we normally get to see teachers who attend our training, but later on, thanks to CBSE, that they have so many programs for the teachers, and it's the teachers' part to attend. But sometimes the teachers will have a great tendency to go to the old method, because we are talking about the mindset shift in the student. Therefore, now we can work on the National Institute for Education Planning and Administration. That institute has created this National Education Policy, wherein it's a part wherein this Pedagogical Leadership Handbook is available in the handbook segment of CBSE, from wherein I have picked up a few points for the convenience of the viewers, and they would like to go through the book. That's also there. You can visit CBSE's handbook segment, and there you will find the Pedagogical Leadership textbook, and this is a research-based guide for principals to become leaders of learning. If at all we find something like in Kerala, a principal revised the school vision to include student well-being alongside academics. Student well-being, the principal has put this statement in the vision part of it. This will influence the timetable. When the vision itself has student well-being, it has to be appearing and manifested in every part of it. In Delhi, a principal used the inclusive culture. That's the vision part of it. Maybe you can put the vision for the year long, or you can put the vision for the term long, or you can put the vision for the month long. That's how the inclusive culture was built up and approach to support students with dyslexia and improving reading levels dramatically in 1 year. Therefore, how are we going to have that kind of work with us? For we are having a plan. Now we need to have a plan whenever we set up something. Then we need to, the first part of it, how are we going to create that vision? We need to set up the direction, and we need to practice the leadership. Once we set up the direction, what is it we want to do? The layer 2 is we want to practice leadership. That's how are we going to do it. And the third layer is we assure student learning. The student has to take part in learning. Then how? We started off with the first goal, then how we are going to do, and the student also should know why the student is doing this and what is that actionable part which we are going to do. And please go through this annual pedagogical plan, which is there on CBSE handbook segment. For now, I can give you one example. A school at Jaipur also co-created a SMART goal. Now, what's a SMART goal? A specific, measurable, achievable, result-oriented or reliable, and a term timeline goal. Specific, measurable, achievable, result-oriented or realistic, timeline goal. Therefore, this should increase grade 8 science lab activities by 40% in one term. The goal was met within that term. Therefore, 40% is to be met. That means everywhere it should be visible. The SMART goal should be visible for the science lab activities. How other teachers are also take this concept and manifest it in their lesson is what we are going to understand. Now, if you want to have that APP in your plan, that is academic leadership, we are going to work on annual pedagogical plan, that is in action. One leadership team improved grade 5 reading levels by assigning reading mentors, adding literacy periods, and tracking progress monthly. Let's see, look at the way they have taken it up. First, they have assigned reading mentor. That means their goal was to improve the reading levels for grade 5. Then they have added literacy periods. If there is no change which is happening, then automatically there won't be change which is seen anywhere. Therefore, the tracking of the progress is also important. How we co-created a goal. You take the teachers also into confidence and create that goal. And you're going to have that literacy periods and tracking. Add those literacy periods, because if you don't do something or add or make a change, the same result will be going to be appearing everywhere. This will definitely track the progress monthly. Therefore, within that term, whenever they have a monthly goal, what is the level 1 which is going to be created? Are they going to join the words and read, or are they going to frame small sentences and read? How are they going to improve their level by the term end of it? Therefore, that's how we need to take call to action back from a pedagogical leadership team. You should form that team. If you should have one teacher from every subject, because when they all sit together, they will come out with a particular goal. For that, you need to keep the handbook in front of you and see that you frame the annual pedagogical plan. Divide the annual pedagogical plan into 3 or 4 parts. Don't go by with the terms whatever you have. Anyway, that is your convenience of it. That's how you need to have a pedagogical plan. Without plan, nothing is going to work. How can some things work without a plan? There is nothing until today that has worked without a plan. For annual pedagogical plan is required. You need to have a points wherein you can put those concepts like this is the goal 1 wherein we are doing. Next, what is the goal? You see this, you implement it and let me know. Tap out in the chat box if you agree with me. You see this and you will really love to do it. Then, if you are having that pedagogical plan in your place, then the core team will talk to you about the important concepts which we should focus on. For if core team you need vice principals or subject head, that's good. If the principal alone can directly contact the vice principal and keep the heads as well as the coordinators, and they're going to meet fortnightly to track the progress, or they're going to meet monthly to track the progress, or either the meeting which is going to happen weekly, the choice is yours. Another school held half a day workshop to choose one descriptor to focus. There are descriptors. What is that one complete SMART goal which you are going to have? That's how we need to focus on it. Therefore, when you are leading learning, transformation will happen. You have to lead the learning. Leading learning means you have to keep a goal. That goal has to be implemented, and while implementing it has to come to a timeline. When in that timeline you will have a goal on it. Okay, when you lead your learning, that kind of change, whatever you want to see, will definitely be visible over there. Therefore, sometimes we see that as suburban schools, there are who have a very short span of attention, because they have so many activities. They got to play in the ground, they got to go outside, go to the farming, and some of them will have to work also after school. Such kind of students also were brought in, and a case study was made, and we have seen that from 78% of their attention, it has gone to 93% of their attention. If whatever their attention, it has improved by about 10 to 12%. That's 15% also. Sometimes we have seen the results being reported. Higher job satisfaction was there for teachers. See, whenever I am giving an example, I am quoting one from the side of a student and another from the side of a teacher. The teacher's satisfaction is important, first of all, because if the teacher's satisfaction is not there, then the teachers will quit this job, and the teachers may not agree to the teachers may not agree to whatever we say. If you don't create a let me just put, oh my god, I forgot to put my school website on there. Yep, let me put it. Okay, I have my website is there. Yep, I have put my website on it. Oh, it's not appearing. Okay, never mind, there is no issue about it. Yeah, do you all see my website now? Yeah, that's there. Okay, that's there. My website, you can see. Yep, yeah, that's my website, wherein you have this. Okay, yeah, that's my website over there, teachconnect.in. Okay, now I'll close it because it's right on my face. I don't want that and I don't like it. Yeah, I can close it. You all know my website. Now you all can have a logo of my school, logo of my company. Yeah, do you see the logo now? Yep. And if you're not going to see it, okay, never mind, not an issue. Okay. Therefore, we can see that sometimes we tend to fail in this program also, because higher satisfaction, for that we need not stress ourselves. We do it, but sometimes it might happen that we may not be able to find that satisfaction, or we might be a flop while we are conducting the program. That means the depth of the knowledge which the students are supposed to take in, they will not take it up. That's how we need to feel that we have to make a decision and it should impact students' lives. Otherwise, redo that activity. One school passed the compliance audits, but graduated students who couldn't apply general knowledge, and they couldn't graduate them. Therefore, they have seen that the students are supposed to be graduated only with the real life knowledge. They didn't graduate. That is the policy of the school which they have made up. And others saw high teacher turnover and lost students to more progressive school. Therefore, that means teachers are going to make it so much and they lost students to, if at all they're going to stagnate at one place, definitely that should happen. That's every decision you make as a principal is a chance to lead learning. How are you going to lead it? Do you want to write blogs and paste on your website, or you want to use new tools, like say you can use Kahoot app, but you can make a profile of yours. Google Sites is always a profile. You can make your websites with Wix.com, and then there you can place all these small quizzes for yourself. Everybody can have a website. Every teacher can have a website. Every teacher can have a profile. Therefore, you can make up your profile also, and let us commit to being architects of learning cultures. You're not just managers. You're definitely wanting to see the change in them. Thanks for your time. You can download the handbook from the description site, and I encourage you all to start your annual pedagogical plan, and you will definitely see the changes in it. Therefore, I always believe in student engagement, because without that the learning will never happen. There are good statistics wherein ASER, Annual Status of Education Report, has reported that in India 43% of 8th class students in rural areas can read a class 2 level textbook fluently. Class 8 student, then reading should be the goal over here. The students' attendance has dropped from 70% to 30%. When you are having activity-oriented results, activity-oriented experiential learning, you are going to improve that result. As per the 2023 ASER Center report, you will definitely see that the scores have improved. You can also visit the website for the ASER Center report for 2023, and you have a 71% of government schools average over there. Therefore, United Nations Education for Scientific Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO, they submitted a report on education specifically for India, wherein student engagement improves by 20 to 30% when there is pedagogical leadership in place. There are many statistics which are available, but please, you have to see that your children are engaging themselves, and that is possible only when you have academic annual pedagogical plan. Okay, thanks for watching. Hi, I am Dr. Padmavati Tungaturti from Teachconnect. Thank you so much for watching, and namaste. Next Sunday we'll meet on another episode. Probably if every Sunday is not possible, we can either do it on Saturday, because we all will love doing webinars with you all. Thanks for watching and being with me. Please do visit www.teachconnect.in and also read more blogs which are there. Thank you so much. Basically, this is a website for recruiters to find the teachers. The principals will find teachers here, and you can always have the teachers' portfolios dropped on the website, and the principals will pick them up. You will have filters area wise, you can do it, and that's how it's wonderful website, I feel. Thanks for watching and being with me. Namaste to all of you.